bulls are back in town. Oh man, that was bad. Okay, I am a finance person, not a singer. But the bulls seem to be back in Bitcoin. We're up 13% on the one day, and we're up a lot in some of these altcoins. I want to cover some of the companies that are starting to look like they're getting into crypto. There are three massive tech companies that are dabbling. They have jobs posted on their websites that have to do with it. We have another country that we have to talk about that just took a huge step, which is, I think, why Bitcoin is up today. And Kevin O'Leary giving some price estimates on Bitcoin over the next decade. So we're going to get to all that. If you guys don't mind hitting the like button, I really appreciate that. Please hit subscribe if you haven't done that already. There's a link down there to BlockFi to get an interest rate on your cryptocurrency. And before we get too deep into the content, I want to say security is one of the most important things right now in cryptocurrency. We can see that after the Colonial Pipeline attack. It's really important to make sure that your information is secure and your data is secure. Now, one of the great things about cryptocurrency is discretion or anonymity. That's why a lot of people got interested in crypto in the first place, which is why I want to talk about our VPN sponsor for the day. So VPNs allow you to secure your internet connection and further secure your crypto transactions, which is why I'm partnering with privateinternetaccess.com. They allow you to have access across all different types of platforms, from Windows to Mac iOS to Android. They have over 30 million downloads, and it's very easy to use. You can see right here, it took me a couple minutes to set this up, and now I can reroute my data all the way from Canada to Greenland to France with the click of a button. And I know some people are very frustrated with geo restrictions in crypto. I would never suggest using a VPN to get around those, like states like New York, but just saying some people do. They have a no logs policy, which protects you even more. With one subscription, you can protect 10 different devices, and they give you a massive bonus for signing up using the link down below. So you get 3 months for free, and you get 78% off, $2.59 a month, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you want to take the next step to protect yourself against all types of people that want to get at your money, get at your information, you can check out the link down below. I will put it in the description, and then I will also put it as a pinned comment. Thank you guys, and definitely check this out down below. So again, special shout out to Private Internet Access. Definitely check that out if you're interested. Now, Bitcoin is up 13%. If you've been paying attention, watching some of my videos, if you're in my Patreon, you know that I've been buying. We saw strong support around 31,000. I bought a decent amount at that point, and I've been ready to buy more if it fell more. Now, this just happened last night. This is the big news of the day. El Salvador legislature votes to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. This country is going to accept Bitcoin for taxes, for goods. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of mass adoption here. A lot of people are going to be using Bitcoin. A lot of people are going to buy Bitcoin, hold on to Bitcoin, and this is a country that used to and still does accept the US dollar. This does not have their own rampant inflation. Now, they don't really have any representation for the US dollar, so this is a great step for them to move to Bitcoin. Now, this just passed, and it will mandate all businesses to accept Bitcoin for goods and services. This is going to be big. Now, there are some companies also that are looking to get into Bitcoin. We already know Tesla has over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. We know MicroStrategy just is raising some more money to put $500 million into Bitcoin. But look at some of these other companies, some of these massive tech companies that you've definitely heard of before. Apple is looking for crypto experience and alternative payments job post. So this just came out May 31st. Apple is looking to hire a business development manager with experience in the cryptocurrency industry to lead its alternative payments partnership program. Awesome. Let's take a look at another. Amazon job listing seeks blockchain lead. Internet giant looks to create business use cases across DeFi. This, again, pretty recent. If we look here, it is just in the last 24 hours. Facebook, blockchain and cryptography research manager. So, blockchain crypto economics research at Facebook. So, we have massive tech companies. All the large ones seem to be interested in Bitcoin. all the forward-thinking companies, it seems like, are getting into it or looking at it, at least hiring people to determine whether it's worth it for them and to look at all the different options out there. I mean, imagine if Apple had some kind of crypto themselves and it was a loyalty program. You got maybe discounts if you held certain amounts and you could stake it or you could get interest. You know, that would be really interesting, right? That could drum up a lot of business. Now, that is something that I think is kind of far off compared to maybe buying Bitcoin or Ethereum and putting it on their balance sheet. But still, you see these companies that are transitioning maybe into this space a little bit more. And we already have countries, right? This is the first country that has done this. We have countries looking to get into it, more mass adoption. We have different companies that are looking into it. And that's where I start to think, okay, which way are we trending? We can have all these negative catalysts on a day in and day out basis, but what way are we generally trending? Because again, it's really easy to be manipulated by the media, but I think we're going towards mass adoption. I know some people think the crypto winter's coming, but we've never seen mass adoption like we are seeing right now. A lot of people thought, this was just a fad in 2017 or 2013. Now people are thinking, okay, companies are putting billions of dollars of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So again, what way are we trending? Are we going towards mass adoption? Are we going to extinction? I think that is very obvious. Now, Kevin O'Leary just talked about how he thinks that Bitcoin can outperform the S&P 500. So he says that after we solve the ESG issue, some of the issues with using fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining, he thinks that over the next 10 years, Bitcoin will beat the S&P 500. So if you're thinking about a 7 to 8% average over a decade on the S&P, I think Bitcoin would do about 3 to 4% over that. I really do. So he's talking about a 10 to 12% return on Bitcoin. So again, this is, I think, I'd say pretty easy to hit. I don't think that this is way out there. I think it's pretty conservative. So if we start thinking a 10 to 12% return, we've seen a 10x over the last year. So if we look at a 10 to 12% return, let's just put in 11% here for 10 years. And then we multiply this by where we're at now, 36,000. That is about a $102,000 Bitcoin. So he's just talking about $100,000 Bitcoin by 2031. So not a huge increase from where we are now. That's not even close to where gold is at. That would be only about 1/5 of the market cap of gold in 10 years. So I think this is a very conservative estimate. Now, if you're looking at 10 to 12%, imagine you start up with BlockFi, which pays 5% on Bitcoin. That would increase your return by 50%. So if you start looking at that, and actually that's just your annual return, it compounds on itself too. So if you go 1.16 times 10, or to the 10th power, and then you multiply that, you're looking at a much greater return. So that's not exactly the way to do it, but you're looking at a large increase in return where you can get more Bitcoin every single year. 5% more Bitcoin a year, which could be huge in the long term if we really are looking at a double to triple over the coming 10 years. Now, I realize that math wasn't actually how it should go, but that can give you a good indication for if you own one Bitcoin now, you would have 160,000 instead of 100,000 over the next 10 years. So overall, I think we have to look at Bitcoin as a whole. What's happening with Bitcoin? Is it going towards mass adoption? Is it going towards extinction? I think there's only one answer to this. I think it's pretty obvious that it is going towards mass adoption. Now, whether Bitcoin is the thing that everyone puts on their balance sheet or whether they start getting into more aggressive investments in crypto, maybe Ethereum, I think only time will tell. I think most people, though, if they're looking at balance sheet as opposed to investments, they would probably put Bitcoin on there first. Now, I think that maybe all these tech companies won't put Bitcoin on their balance sheet, but there is inflation. There's definitely a case to be made that it might help combat inflation over the coming years. And a lot of these tech companies have billions and tens of billions of dollars on their balance sheet. So they're eroding billions of dollars a year just from inflation, some of them. So it might be something that's worth considering, especially when you consider the fact that they might just have to pay 3, 4, 5, 10 people a salary to combat this inflation. Let's say they spend $1 million a year. They hire 5 people at $200,000 a year, some of these tech companies, to figure out whether it's worth it for them. And they could save billions of dollars a year. I mean, that's a huge increase. That's a huge return on their investment. So I think it's definitely worth them at least putting it out there and hiring people to determine if this makes sense for them as a company. Now, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, thank you for privateinternetaccess.com. You can check that out down in the description and in the comments. And thank you for checking out BlockFi, where you can get an interest rate on your cryptocurrency. Link down there underneath the video also. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.